This is the Anycubic Kobra X, a sub $400 3D printer that can print 4 different materials right out of the box. It comes mostly pre-assembled. Just bolt the 2 halves together and plug in a few connectors and you're ready to print. Of course, my pre-production unit had a couple over-the-air updates to install via the Anycubic mobile app first. On first setup, the machine runs through a handful of automated self-tests. These include PID tuning, which optimizes how the hot end heats and maintains that heat in your specific environment. This ensures the actual hot end temperature remains as close to the target temperature as possible. Resonance calibration to counteract any vibrations from your setup that could cause artifacting or ringing in your prints. Noise reduction tuning, which is something I don't often see on printers that I test. This runs through a series of travel moves at different speeds, listening for any that produce excessive noise. These speeds are then avoided during printing to decrease the overall noise from the machine. And finally, an auto 49-point bed leveling sequence that Anycubic calls LevIQ 3.0. Print volume here is 260 millimeters on the X, 260 millimeters on the Y, and 260 millimeters on the Z axis. Enough room for the majority of 3D printing projects. There's a small capacitive touchscreen that's very responsive and has a thoughtfully laid out UI. Of course, we have a small 720p camera and light on the right side here for taking time lapses and monitoring prints. There's also some AI spaghetti and foreign object detection here too, but more on that later. Up top we have 4 spool holders to feed the star of the show, this unique printhead. Anycubic is calling this the Ace Gen 2 color engine, and it's unlike any extruder assembly I've ever seen before. Instead of having an external device handle the feeding and retraction of materials into a single extruder, this one handles it all right here in the printhead thanks to some clever engineering. Of course, I had to see this for myself, so I disassembled the entire printhead. And there's a lot to talk about here, so let's start at the top. Filament comes in through the PTFE tubes, and it passes by a tiny spring-loaded gear. This acts much like the scroll wheel in your computer mouse, and it's used to keep track of material moving in and out of the extruder. From there, the filament travels down past a cam system. This is what allows the machine to select different filaments. A ridiculously cute stepper motor uses a worm gear to turn the camshaft, and the lobes of the camshaft put pressure against the individual filament idlers. That presses the filament into the central drive gear for extrusion. These idlers are dynamic, which means they automatically grab the filament with the perfect amount of force. This allows materials like PLA, PETG, and TPU to be used within the same print without any issues. The filament passes through the heatsink, and before it enters the heat break, there's a small gap for the filament cutter. This puts the cutter just 35 millimeters away from the tip of the nozzle, which results in way less material needing to be purged after filament swaps. This also means the nozzle can be removed and swapped without the heatsink, the heating cartridge, or the thermistor. All this equates to less waste material and faster filament switching. Of course, Anycubic also sells a 4-filament external system dubbed the Anycubic Ace 2, and this machine supports up to 4 of them at once for a total of 19 colors or materials. But I don't have one to test, so I can't speak to the performance or reliability of those. Now, let's move on to some testing. Up first, the LevIQ bed leveling system. Anycubic claims a flawless first layer, so I'll print an entire first layer to confirm this. And here it is. A little bit of over extrusion here, but a very solid single first layer. Pretty impressive. Next, we can check how well the resonance compensation and auto flow rate tuning works with a quick print of my WildRoseBuilds test cube in PLA. And this printed pretty much flawlessly. Finally, let's see if we can trigger the AI detection. First was the large chunk of a failed print. And once we have a print going, we can introduce some spaghetti to see if that'll get detected. If you're not interested in AI detection, that can be disabled right when you start a print. And one more note here, like most 3D printer cameras, quality is subpar at best. Again, my unit is pre-production and that could change for the final run of machines. Finally, I wanted to put this printhead assembly to the test by printing both PLA and TPU. For that, I'll use this compliant clamp model. And of course, this worked great. This sort of multi-material printing is usually reserved for multi-tool head printers, so it's awesome to see it at this sub $400 price point. Next, I printed this Gengar phone holder. One very important thing I learned here is to make sure your colors are selected properly in both your slicer and on the machine itself. There's built-in values for purge amount depending on which color is being purged. Going from dark to lighter colors like black to purple requires a bit more purging to remove any of the pigment left in the hot end. And failure to do that results in a small amount of color bleed, which created a band of darker purple here. We can actually compare the purge values of the Kobra X and the A1 from this menu in the slicer here. These values are already lower and Anycubic has set the default multiplier to 0.7, which further decreases the amount of purging needed. Of course, this machine is pre-production and all these numbers are subject to change and improvement moving forward. Next, I set my sights on using PETG as a support interface. For this, I loaded up a Grogu model and fed 4 different types of filament into the machine. Silver PETG, dark brown TPU, green PLA, and matte beige PLA. This printed great aside from some stringy wet PETG, and the supports removed easily despite having a top Z distance of 0mm. Now that we've completed our testing, I'll leave you guys with some multicolor time lapses. Special thanks to Anycubic for sending this machine over for me to take a look at. I'll leave some links in the description if you'd like to learn more about this machine. As always, thanks for watching and happy printing.